I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Now, for those who don't know, I just got done talking about the Phantom Menace, which I do enjoy. And I forget when I reviewed it, but I do have a review of Revenge of the Sith on the channel. And I don't mind that film either. They both have their issues. I mentioned them in the review, but I think they have a lot of merits too. For example, the Phantom Menace, I said John Williams' score is great, like Duel of the Fates. Trying to branch out the Star Wars universe by giving us different cities like Naboo and the Gungan City, and some entertaining action set pieces like the lightsaber battle and the pod race sequence, which I enjoyed, and having people like Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor and Jake Lloyd and Jar Jar Binks, double whammy of But it does have a lot of merits to it. Revenge of the Sith, there's some merits to that too. And they're still way better than the Disney Star Wars films that completely take a dump on Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia. Prequels of Star Wars don't crap on those characters. The Disney Star Wars films do, and you can find at least 100 videos explaining that, and then some. And that's what the Disney Star Wars films did. They took a crap on Luke, Leia, and Han, made the original trilogy completely pointless, and that's why Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and The Force Awakens can go to hell, hell, hell. And the prequels, Red Letter Media and, others, influencers, hey, you gotta think for yourself. Even with that said, this is not a good movie. Attack of the Clones, I would still rather watch this than the Disney Star Wars films. Because again, despite the issues I have with this film, it does not shit on Luke, Leia, and Han Solo. But this movie... So I would put this above the new Disney Star Wars films, because those are puke-inducing. This... First off, thanks to Total Meltdown 2 for supporting me on Patreon. He's a pledge on there. This is one of the reviews he wanted. If you're ever interested in sending requests via Patreon, or joining my Patreon, the link to my Patreon is down below, or sending requests via PayPal, it could be requests for a review of pretty much anything, or a movie topic, or show, or whatever. Link to that is down below too, in my PayPal. Thank you to everyone who has done that. But get back to this. This film sucks ass. It does. I mean, I liked Ewan McGregor. I like the Caminos, the clone, the aliens that have the clone army. The way they're the white rooms and the design of those aliens. I think it's cool. I don't mind the space cafe. Thought that was kind of an interesting thing to see, a bit unique. Where this alien is old friends with Obi-Wan. Jango Fett. Interesting you putting him in there. And then Boba Fett. But I thought the effects in the Phantom Menace were not that bad. This is the one that really showcases bad CGI effects. The Phantom Menace, there was a lot of practical. There was model work in there and real like explosions. Here, it was much more of a CGI fest, and it does not work in this movie. I give crap to Jake Lloyd, but I was also talking about George Lucas, how even during the making of the Phantom Menace, there's two kids. One's obviously better, but then they choose the other one for some stupid reason. And then George Lucas is directing the kid. You don't see this bad performance and be like, hey, let's work around it or change the words around to make it more natural for the kid or something. Nope. So I put some of the blame on George Lucas. Here, Hayden Christensen sucks. And it's not just because of Star Wars. Like Natalie Portman, you say, she's good in other places, but not Star Wars. Here, Hayden Christensen has never been good. I've seen him in Takers. I've seen him in this fucking movie where, Awake, where he's a guy who they think can't hear anything, but he can, and he's hearing these people plan his death while he's laid down in the hospital, but he can't move. Interesting concept, but Hayden Christensen can't fucking do it. Vanishing on 7th Street, from the director of Session 9, which I enjoy. Shitty movie, and one of the reasons Hayden Christensen's shitty performance. I've seen Hayden Christensen at, what was that fucking teleportation movie he did? Jumper? He sucked in that too. I'm sorry, Hayden Christensen cannot act for shit. He's shitty in those movies, and he's shitty in this movie. He can't do it. And I looked at this film and I go, you can't tell me there are not better actors to get for this role. I guarantee you could have found better actors for this. Whether they would have done better or great because of George Lucas's dialogue, I don't know, but this was just... He's one of the worst parts of it. The action sequences I didn't care for. I didn't care for the finale where they're riding on the goddamn stupid-ass beast thing looking like a goddamn cartoon while 100 Jedi are killing these bugs out of fucking Resident Evil 4. The annoying invisible fuckers that maybe if you have night vision can see and kicks my ass when I'm playing as Leon. That's what those bugs at the end remind me of. The fucking bugs in Resident Evil 4. I'd rather do that. Much better, I was going to say movie. Much better game than this is a movie. Although a lot of this looks like a fucking shitty game. And even the fucking dog that my friend has doesn't like this fucking movie. He doesn't want me to talk about this fucking movie. He wants to leave. Even the fucking dog doesn't want me to talk about Attack of the Clones. See, I already talked about Phantom Menace. You see? I talked about Phantom Menace. I didn't get one bark from... This is my friend's dog. I'm watching it while he's out at work. As soon as I start talking about Attack of the Clones, the dog wants to leave because as soon as you mention Attack of the Clones, get the fuck out. Even people who like the prequels, which I said, I don't mind Phantom Menace, even they say this film sucks. You're not going to find a lot of people who like Attack of the Clones, and I don't blame them. Because what is there to like? Incredibly dull, horrible love story. Because your two leads do not have chemistry with each other. George Lucas cannot write romantic dialogue. I'm sorry, he can't. Terrible fucking dialogue. They have no chemistry between the two of them. It is still a bit weird than the previous film. And it was just a little boy with blonde hair. Where the fuck hair he had. And then there's Natalie Portman. And then I'm like, oh, you two are gonna fuck. And you little kid, are gonna pump two loads into her and get twins. And now they're ready to do it. So that's a bit weird. And Ewan McGregor does a good job as Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's one of the highlights of the prequel trilogy, is they made Obi-Wan Kenobi pretty badass. You didn't get to know a lot about Obi-Wan in the original Star Wars, but they fleshed him out, and it's like, wow, this character's pretty badass. He took on Darth Maul. He's having battles with Jango Fett in this movie. And the third one, and in Revenge of the Sith and Phantom Menace reviews are on the channel, for those interested. In fact, pretty much reviews of all the Star Wars films are on the channel now when I upload this. Because I reviewed all the shitty Disney Star Wars films. I reviewed the original 3. And now this. But what the fuck was I going to say? On the third one, he fights the Grievous. Kicks his ass. So, yeah. Obi-Wan's pretty badass. And Ewan McGregor does a good job. I keep harping on that because he's one of the only good things about this one. This fucking sequel. It just seemed as if not a lot was happening. Because it's trying to build up this love story. But sadly, you got cringeworthy dialogue. Hayden Christensen cannot act. I don't know why he got cast in so many fucking roles that so many better actors could have done. A better actor could have easily done films like Jumper and Awake and this movie. I remember hearing that Jonathan Brandis, who I liked in Sidekicks and the 1990 It, was up for this movie, and he didn't get it, and that hurt him a lot, which might have led to his suicide. Don't know for certain. But I have to think he would have been better than this, because I've seen Jonathan Brandis act, and he was a good actor. Hayden Christensen, I've never seen a performance worth a shit from this guy. I've seen more than one damn thing. And my fucking, if you heard that, or if you didn't hear that, that's my voice going, as soon as I mentioned the fucking guy's name. Despite me hating the Disney Star Wars films, I could say that Hayden Christensen is the worst actor in any fucking Star Wars film. And I hate the Disney Star Wars films, but even I can say, in all fairness, Hayden Christensen is the worst goddamn actor in any of these fucking movies. To be fucking fair. I mean, Boba Fett, did he need to be a fucking clone? I don't know, I just didn't care for that idea. I mean, interesting that you put him in there as the son of Jango Fett, but it's not the clone. But did you really need Boba Fett to be a fucking clone? And stupid dialogue, I will learn to stop people from dying. It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's holding me back. Get on your back and go fuck yourself. Just horrendous love story that just really is the biggest crippling flaw of this film, is the love story. Just, I keep harping on this, just a love story. Need chemistry, a likability of both parties, acting that doesn't make you puke, day glow, because you spend so much time with these two people trying to be lovey-dovey. I like sand. Then put some up your ass. Make a fucking sandcastle, for all I know. With the Force. Use the Force, shove it up your ass, and make the sandcastle in your ass. And then pop it out without any changes. That will impress the fuck out of me, Annie. Oh, we got, his mom dies and he goes to kill the sand people. Okay, well that's... If Yoda felt that, I don't know why the fuck he didn't say anything later on, like, hey, Anakin, let me talk to you. I know you killed a bunch of sand people. Let's talk about that. Kind of makes the Jedi seem fucking idiots. And then even the action sequences The only action scene I had to deal with was when Obi-Wan is fighting Jango in the rain. There's not a lot of Star Wars scenes that take place in the rain, now that I think about it. So that and a Jedi finding a bounty hunter, a battle between the two, take a little bit different, a little bit unique on that front. And then again, the look of the scene, having it take place in the rain, different aesthetic look. That was appreciated. Like I said, I like the Camino, the aliens that have the clones. And the clone army, of course, would be the stormtroopers. Christopher Lee, that's another positive. Cool to have Christopher Lee in there. That's Count Dooku. Which you could have found a better name than Dooku. Just do as in shit, doo-doo. But I mean, again, there's better names you could have picked. But nice to see Christopher Lee in there. Rest in peace, Christopher Lee. He always brings a stature to his roles. It was fun. I take that back. The other action scene I don't mind, of course, is the Yoda scene, where Yoda actually fights with a lightsaber. Granted, he's hopping around like a frog, but it was interesting to see. Part of me wonders, in retrospect, is that a detriment to the character that he results into fighting with a lightsaber when he should be this big, powerful being that doesn't need to do that? But at the same time, I can understand why they did it, because there would always be that part in the back of your head, because I'm sure George Lucas is thinking, after these films, I'm probably never going to do Star Wars again, or I know I have a vision for the last three, but Yoda won't be in it too much, and he's dead, so he'd be a ghost. I'm sure in the back of people's minds, they're thinking, what would Yoda do with a lightsaber? So, he gave people what they wanted. I can't really be mad about that. I remember people in the theater being excited and having fun, as did I when I saw it in the theater. Because I think I saw all three of these prequels in the theaters when they came out. And had fun with it. But, yeah, the Yoda stuff was cool. Christopher Lee, Ewan McGregor's little fight with Jango Fett, the aliens, the Caminos, their design. That's about all the good I can say. I mean, even the opening scene where they're trying to get this assassin, just the CGI, it just felt cartoonish of a sequence. It felt like a cutscene of a video game, especially nowadays. The effects in Phantom Menace did not look cartoonishly video game-like than this, which is probably why it helps when you put practical stuff in there too. And Revenge of the Sith, I thought it was handled better with the staging of the action sequences compared to this. At least somewhat. But yeah, I mean, a good chunk of it is that fucking love story that just cripples the film. Because so much of the screen time is about that. It's this big love story, then Ewan McGregor going and trying to find this planet where these clones are at. I'm like, stick with you, Ewan McGregor, that's the more interesting part of the movie. But no, we gotta go back to his love story that don't give a fuck about, because Hayden Christensen sucks ass as an actor. The dialogue hurts Natalie Portman's performance. She can't do anything about it. George Lucas, no one ever thinks of him as a dramatic love story director. This kind of proves why. The music is fine, but I can't think of anything as memorable compared to Duel of the Fates in the previous one, The Phantom Menace. And even like when it got to the factory and the kind of... It reminded me of the fucking scene in Chicken Run where they're almost getting turned to pies. I'm like, fuck, that was done better in Chicken Run than it was in this movie when these characters dodging out of the way to get fat so they don't get flattened. And then when it got to the Bud Arena, I'm like... I swear in Resident Evil 4 there's a scene where there's a fucking thing and there's bugs all around. At least you got guns and shit. And then they're riding this fucking thing. Fuck this movie. But I would still watch it than the Disney Star Wars films. Because I'm having fun saying, oh, fuck this movie. If it was the Disney Star Wars films, I'd be, fuck this movie. That's why I think the Disney Star Wars films, I'd be like, fuck this movie. But this, I'm like, fuck this movie. You know, so there's different ways of fuck. There's, Attack of the Clones, go fuck yourself. And then there's Rise of Skywalker, go fuck yourself. And Last Jedi, go fuck yourself. And The Force Awakens, go fuck yourself. And then Attack of the Clones, go fuck yourself. You know? So there's different ways. Different kinds of fucks given. So thanks for watching, take care, and stay tuned for more reviews later.